Welcome back to JM Unleashed. This is part 2 or part 3 depending on how you look at it. We've just completed our second adventure for the day. So the big guy is zonked. He's had lots of water, so he's good to go. And even the little guy's resting pretty nicely. As you can see. But he doesn't have his face towards us, so for now I'll keep the camera on this guy. Hey Neil, good to see you. You should be able to tell he's probably looking a little bit more tired than before. I don't know if you saw this guy here, but he's getting close to giving it up. He's like, yeah, that was a nice adventure. So they both drank lots of water and everything. Hey Arkansas, good to see you. I actually almost I did catch part of your live stream that you had running. What was it? About 5 or 6 hours ago. But I was just getting ready for work because I had to go pick these nice little dogs up. So I gave you a thumbs up, but I didn't say hi or anything in the chat. If I would have had more time, I might have joined the panel with my. What did you have going there? It was those black permanent markers. Yes, like temporary tattoos. Here, we'll give you one of these. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I don't know if Neil, if you know Arkansas or if Arkansas knows you, but I'll just give you a heads up. She's a wild child. Arkansas is a wild child. No doubt about it. She's fun, but some of her streams get a little bit racy. So you want to be prepared for that. I'm good with it, but I wouldn't recommend having children viewing. Should probably be age age restricted. Yes, I did. Oh, I see. You're trying to say recent. Yes, I did get it, Neil, and I replied back to you. I got it. So maybe I'll sort of pan or toggle between this guy and the other guy, but just for anyone new coming in, this little Welsh Springer Spaniel is an energy ball. So it's taken 2 pretty good adventures to get him to just be all tired out and chill. And he's extra tired now too. I was actually thinking, maybe I won't really talk or chat that much because I don't want to wake them up if they're having a nap or disturb them, but they actually seem okay with that. Yes, Neil. Yeah, it was from regarding Jake's custom parts. I'm surprised you're still awake, Arkansas. Wow. I'm surprised you're still awake. You know what I'll do, since they're just sleeping right now, is yeah, he's a Newfoundland. He's a Newfie. He's a good boy though. I got tons of video of him. Hey 710, good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, I think they're just Arkansas never sleeps. Okay, well 710 would know. Here, I'll put this in for if anyone wants to come up for a few minutes. Went to sleep and then they held the stream down until... Oh, nice. So they gave you a nap. Right on. That'd be fun. I'd like to see Arkansas snoring. Oh, I think we got... I heard a bleep as if someone's here, but I don't see them. Why don't I see anyone? Let me just see here. Oh, it's over here. No. They've switched the layout here on Restream. That is funny. That is funny. It's weird. I heard a little bleep bleep as if someone was trying to join the panel, but I don't see anyone attempting to, so. Yeah, he's chill. But when he's up and going, he's an energy ball. You are there, are you? Let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay. Why? Oh, I know why it's not adding you. Because I don't have the right layout. What's this thing now? Are you there, Neil?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, just barely because I'm on a little
Yeah, it's all
laptop.
good.
But yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Fair to partly cloudy.
Pardon me?
Fair to partly cloudy.
Fair to partly cloudy. Nice. That is some
It
nice weather.
seems like all the pictures I upload are reverse.
Okay, so it's called mirroring. So that means there's somewhere in there's a setting
Okay.
where it's mirroring. It's a Newfie. Actually, I'll put it in the chat here, 710. Newfoundland. Landseer. And I'll tell you right now, I would not recommend anyone get a Newfoundland dog if you're anywhere where the climate is warm for very long. They cannot handle the heat. They're not good with anything over 70 Fahrenheit. To them, I would say 70 Fahrenheit feels to them like what 90 Fahrenheit feels like to us.
A logical thought process would be it's from Newfoundland. That's way up north, so I don't think it would work good. That type dog would work good in Florida, the Bahamas, Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know, because the name Newfoundland.
Yep.
It's made for the cold weather.
Yep. Hey CCT, we got Cyber Curtain Twitcher in the house. Good to see you all the way from the UK. Welcome in. Yeah, like they were bred specifically for saving sailors that fell overboard.
Yep.
In the ocean, in the cold ocean
And that
water.
means
So
their body and their hair is designed to keep them warm in cold weather. So if you bring them in warm weather, they'll probably overeat and die.
yeah, and they do really well in the cold. he likes it. Even once you go 15 or 20 degrees below freezing, he's still okay.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't be going 25 or 30 below freezing because at that point, especially if they hadn't sort of worked up to it.
But the only thing that puppy's missing is the big uh, keg of brandy that he should have around his neck, like they had on
Yeah,
Bugs Bunny
Saint Bernard.
cartoons.
That's
Yeah,
it, Saint Bernard.
yeah. That's what he reminds me of.
Yep.
He's just looking funny.
This little guy's knocked out. You saw him earlier how he was energy ball.
Oh yeah.
So my guess is he'll probably just nap like that for probably 20 or 30 minutes, and then he'll be back up and at it again.
He'll probably get something to eat and then be rowdy.
Yeah. Yeah. Dogs that are good for the heat are the short-haired dogs. Like Jack Russell. The Jack Russell that I work with just loves the heat. Even when it's like 90 degrees out, and she's got the choice between shade, air conditioning, or in the sun, she'll go right out into the full sun. Now, she won't be out there for hours on end, but like, she'll go out there for a good 20, 30 minutes. Heat right up and then move to the shade. Well, that was cool. Just had a huge butterfly fly by.
I always think Kevin the Weed Man when I see a monarch.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some nice puffy clouds going by. I wonder if this camera will pick that up. It's not showing the blue in the sky. Kind of looks gray on my screen, but just with my eyes, it looks bright blue. How are your little puppy dogs doing, Neil? I know you got tons of cats and they're doing well.
My dogs are at the. I had four of them for a very long time, and they were all around the same age, all rescued. And I got to my limit of four, but they're coming to the end of their life now. I had to put two of them down for cancer earlier this year, and I'm probably going to have to put the other two down within 6 months.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. Yeah, I noticed that in one of the videos that you shared, I think it was maybe a year ago with the dogs.
Yeah.
And they did, at least two of them looked like they were already, fairly senior, like at least 12 or 13.
Yep. They're now 13 and 14.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And they're old. It sucks. I'd like to live about 30, 40 years, but they don't.
Oh, they've got short life expectancy.
Yep.
Hey, CCT, this guy here would be good for going after rats too, but and that's a Welsh Springer Spaniel. But yeah, the Jack Russells, they would clean up the yard of rats pretty quick. I'm pretty sure, but that being said, they are high energy, so.
Oh my God, I'd never.
If you don't have a fair amount of time to spend with them, or a way to keep them really occupied and engaged on a daily basis for hours, I would not recommend a Jack Russell, unless it was like in its mid to a little bit older, like say 10 or 11. But when they're young, look out, they're energy balls. Let's see here. I did drop the link here.
What's up, Chris?
So I pinned that link there if anyone else wants to join us for a bit. if these dogs start getting active and everything, I might try a side screen like that for other people on the panel, but I think we're good right now. Yeah, we got Chris Gilbert in the house. Good to see you. I'm trying to ration my energy, so I'm just taking it easy now too, because I still got to take this little guy on at least 1 or 2 more adventures today. The big guy, I'm going to leave him here with the 2 other little dogs while I take the little guy out. But that'll be not right away. That'll be in an hour or so. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sorry to hear that you got a, you said you had one of them put down, Neil?
So I had 2 of them, 2 males I put down already. They had cancer.
Dang. So that only leaves you with 1 or 2 then, right?
2 females.
Yeah, that's really tough. I don't recall you mentioning that before. Too.
Well, they're getting older, and they're not good for videos because they are getting older. And I still love them, so I give them their privacy, and I don't show them on videos because, again, my female pit's 14 years old, and my Ridgeback's 13 and a half. They're not young pups.
Yeah, I hear you. That yellow lab that I walk that you've seen in a lot of my videos is getting right up there too.
Yeah, and it sucks for the owners. So I for the past 6 months, actually since I had to put my other 2 down, I actually have been putting a lot of money in ground beef cooking for the dogs, to where they're getting at least 3 pounds a week of ground beef in their food. So, towards the end, they're eating a lot better, and they're getting a lot more goodness inside them. I'm doing what I can for them before they have to go.
Yeah, I tend to spoil them too, especially once I know that their life is like
I know
really close. Then they really get spoiled.
Yeah, I do that about a year in advance.
Yeah.
I start spoiling them a little earlier than it's close.
Yeah, I still like spoiling them, when they're younger, but not too much, especially when they're really young, because you want them to not expect it, right? You don't want them to get into begging and all that sort of thing that can.
I wait till they're about 10 or 11 years old, and I automatically just, it's like they get their AARP cards, so they get special treatment.
That's right. Yeah, and like once they're older like that, they kind of know the drill too, so they'll recognize that they're getting something special, and it's not something that they necessarily need to expect.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I've been doing it for over 6 months with these babies, so I guess they kind of were sort of grown into expecting it. But again, they're 13 and 14, so
yeah.
I know when I get older, I want lobster and steak every night too.
Me too, man. That's exactly what I want. Surf and turf. Actually, I had scallops for lunch the other day, yesterday.
And then I am going to get more dogs, obviously, probably after I move. And I'm going to start them off totally different than the ones that because 14 years, I've had them about 13 years, all 4 of them. And I wasn't in the same knowledge set as I am now. So the next dogs I get, I'm going to hook them up on the vegetables in their diet more than not. So they're used to it, like, broccoli, peas, carrots, sweet potatoes, and ground beef, instead of just ground beef and dog food.
Yep.
And then we'll start them off young, so they get used to eating a lot healthier than regular dogs.
boneless, skinless chicken breast is a good way to go to, in my opinion.
Yeah,
If
it's
it's if
money's
it's a
never an object when it comes to my dogs or cats' foods.
yeah, yeah, I know everyone feeds their dogs differently, but
Yeah.
it's weird. I've noticed a lot of dog owners over the course of time get switched on to the veterinary exclusive kibbles.
Yeah, I ain't tried none of that yet.
I
I
don't.
cook for them.
Yeah, I think you're better off cooking for them or just going with a normal high quality kibble.
Well, yeah, I mean when I can't afford to cook for them, they do get a kibble and keep not canned food like I'll do canned chicken and stuff like that and add it to them, or I'll make bacon and throw it in their dry food.
Yeah,
But other than
that's the
that,
other one is liver treats like organ meat is what.
yeah, I took that too far, I guess, because I had bought a whole cow liver and tried cooking it up for them, and they didn't freaking touch it, and I had to throw the whole damn thing away. And it was for a cow, it was a damn big liver, dude. It was like 2 foot long, like 6 inches. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that's a big for cow liver. But I got it and I tried it, and my dogs did not like it.
Well, like when you go to the pet stores, um, they usually have liver treats, but it's dehydrated liver.
Well, in that
Um,
case, what you can do is a simpler, cheaper thing: is you grow sweet potatoes and slice them in about 1/8 inch slices, stick them in at a low heat in the oven to dehydrate them. It's one of the best, most healthiest dog treats you can give,
yeah, that's true.
and you don't have to worry about the meat part and just save that for their actual meals. And all the treats are a sweet potato, or you can jerky your own beef too. Then you got sweet potato
Sweet
and beef.
potato, pumpkin. A lot
Yeah.
of people will give their dogs pumpkin if they've got an upset stomach. But going back to the liver, you got to be careful not to give them too much because it can give them diarrhea
Yeah.
if they get
Yeah.
too much. So you want to do that in moderation.
Another thing you want to do is whatever, if you get a new dog, if you start a diet, to try and keep them on that diet, because when you change up diets, lots of things like that will happen as well.
Yep. Hey, Aunt Laura, it's good to see you. Um, and Aunt Laura has a fair amount of knowledge regarding dogs as well. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think that Aunt Laura used to be, or even still maybe, part-time dog trainer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But she's saying not too much organ meat, maybe 10% or so. And that sounds about right to me too. I think that's about right. Oh, so you probably didn't see this little guy over here, Aunt Laura. He was
He's not
napping, and
ready.
I accidentally knocked the camera on the picnic table here, so he kind of jumped up a bit. He's pretty chill now, but man, if it weren't for those two adventures I took them out earlier, um, he'd be bouncing around all over the place. Pork is a decent, yeah, like the pork loins. I know some trainers use hot dogs. I wouldn't really recommend hot dogs unless like very temporary, once in a while thing. But I've known some trainers to use little bits of a hot dog as high value treats. There we go. Yeah, so Aunt Laura actually is probably more knowledgeable about dogs than I am. That's fantastic. I've never done dog training professionally, but just sort of indirectly because I do the dog walking, and I've worked with and studied with dog trainers before.
I mean, I've never done no professional stuff, but I do know that I can take 4 different types of rescue dogs from bad situations, throw them in one yard, and they will get along because I tell them to, and they do. And I don't know how that works, but
Well, I suspect they get the energy from you saying pretty much, look, we are the family, and so then it's up to them to work it out.
yeah, they get the pecking order, and I'm at the top of that pecking order. When I first threw them together, there was some issues that I had to go out there with and correct behavior on, but it was only one or twice, and they found their spots. They seemed to be happy in their spots in the pride or the pack, and it all worked out. I guess I'm blessed.
Yeah.
But I don't do individual dogs. I'm sure individual dogs need more training. I do more pack stuff.
The number one thing I would say for anyone, if they want to boost their knowledge, and Aunt Laura may want to weigh in on this too, is I would look into studying dog psychology. There's an actual study on it. And I've put quite a bit of time into that, specifically therapy for fear and aggression. So it's called fear and aggression therapy, especially using positive training methods. But that falls under the category of dog psychology. A lot of people don't realize that there is actually
Oh yeah,
a study of that.
no, there's a big study on that. That's three of the four that I rescued were pits that needed rescuing, meaning unwanted, abandoned, or thrown out. So their attitudes of three pits with the Ridgeback in there, all thrown in together. I had issues of sorts, but I aggressively handled them. And one thing I learned, if you have an out of control, aggressive big dog,
Yep.
there's one thing you can do if you do it right. I think I see. I don't want to say Caesar Milan. I'm not 100%. I don't think it's his style, but I saw some other YouTube dog trainer do this. But it's in most extreme cases, because what you do is what you just mentioned about their natural aggressive nature or their natural natures. That the real aggressive dogs are there for a reason, mostly because psychologically something happened and you had to go in aggressive mode. And there is one thing you can do to break them out of that, but it's an aggressive technique I've never had to use, so I don't talk about it. But there's
Good call. Yeah, I would not recommend trying to rehabilitate aggression with
yeah,
aggression.
I did a lot of work with pits, and it's different because a lot of idiots breed them for the wrong reason, for
Right.
entertainment and fighting. And
Yeah.
that style, you gotta. It requires a different style of dog raising or training than
Yeah.
a normal pet, like what you guys have.
Well, and like you're right too when you said, with aggression, there's probably something that's happened
Yeah,
in
no,
the
there's
past.
always a linchpin in the dog's life.
That's right. So one of the things I've learned is that frequently aggression it'll present as aggression, but what's happened is it's actually fear that overloaded the dog's psychology, and then it turns into aggression. So not always, but definitely in some, probably a lot of the cases, when the aggression presents itself, it's actually a result of the dog having more fear than they know how to deal with. And one
There's
of the ways,
each dog is different, and you actually do have to get to know the dog as much as possible. Its history, if it has
that's
issues,
right.
is very important. An example: there's this little freaking Chihuahua next door. The guys next door are nice as hell. They have three dogs. One of them they adopted or they got from a friend who passed away, and it just hates me. And I mean, even the guys who own the dog, they've known me for 8, 9 years. I'm not someone who, usually I would say an animal's reaction determines if the person's good or not. But in particular case, something happened to that dog. It was someone that looks like me, and it just hates the look of me
Yep.
because of something that happened in its past. But I haven't gone into its past to try and reconcile it because it's not my dog, and I don't have to deal with it. But it had something happen to it that where it doesn't like blonde haired guys.
Yeah.
And
So
I imagine someone probably kicked it a lot or something, so it attributes blonde-haired guys with pain or whatnot, or a similar scenario. Like I said, you have to get to the dog and its history to overcome it. It's like just like a human. You can't send a psychiatrist into a room and expect him just to start talking to the person and fix the problem. He's got to know what caused the problem. What was the person's linchpin moments? Was it born like that? Is it you got to figure this stuff out. Same with animals.
yeah. Um,
And sometimes they just nuts. There are animals that just born not wired properly.
so yeah, that's right. Like especially you can run into issues like puppy mill dogs, or if there's inbreeding or
Yeah, inbreeding's a big thing.
there are issues that way. But the dog's greatest sense is their sense of smell. Debatably, it's better, it's greater than their sense of energy. But energy and sense of smell are right up there. So even more than saying blonde hair being a trigger, I would say it's more likely even like a scent. Like maybe you've got the same shampoo
No,
as a guy
because
that.
this dog through the window of the house, it'll hear me in their front yard and it'll run up to the window and just start barking like when I'm doing the lawn where all others because I do the guys, they're older guys, and so I take care of the front yard as well. So I'll go out there and like cut on their plants and trim everything up to where there's yard smells around, and the dog will hear me because I'm using machinery to do the cuttings and whatnot, and it'll just come up and constantly just bark at me. So smell is out.
Okay.
I've thought about it, and they have too, because they like rehabilitating animals as well, and they're the ones who came to that conclusion if something happened to it in its past before they got it. That they just presumed the guy looked like me, and like I said, I haven't put any time into it because it's their dog. It doesn't bother me, you know. But it's an ongoing issue every time I'm over there. Their other two dogs love the heck out of me. But this one that they didn't adopt, they inherited it when one of their friends passed.
Yeah.
So something happened
Yes.
in its lifetime.
Yeah, I suspect that that's a one-off situation.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. I've been into rescue for close to 40 years, and I don't know. Me and my friend Steve, for the first 15 years, I think we over 3,000 dogs and cats we captured and adopted out, or rescued and got adopted out with contracts because he's my friend's a lawyer. So I've dealt with well over 5,000 animals, dogs and cats, and I've only had two that I couldn't explain their behavior.
Yeah.
All the others, there was a logical reason. If you got to know the dog, you learned its history, you found its linchpin, and you could overcome it once you know. Knowledge is power. Once you figure out what it is that caused the dog to be that way, you can start working against to counter everything and alleviates its fears. Like Aunt Laura said, fear is I have found, unprofessionally found, that is the main factor. And even one time I got bit by a sweet Rottweiler that never bit anyone. The only reason he bit me is because I scared him because I walked around a 90-degree corner, concrete corner, and he was pissing on the side with his leg up with his nose facing the corner, and I turned and I got him in a compromising position. It surprised him. I guess he didn't hear me. And his first action was to snap at me to protect himself. So that's what he did, but he didn't like attack.
Right.
It was a natural reaction because he had his pants down, he was in the bathroom. I walked in the bathroom on him basically.
It sounds to me like it was just like a
A
warning.
reaction. Yeah,
It was a
a
warning.
typical reaction of a compromised situation and instant fear, and then a realization of, oh fuck, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've run across lots of different scenarios. Of course, where he did his little nip was enough to make me go to the emergency room and wonder if I was going to be able to have kids.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, he was standing up pissing, and I was walking, so the height and where his mouth was pretty much right on. He was a big Rottweiler. He was like 180 pounds.
Well, Aunt Laura gave you a nice compliment there, acknowledging that rescuing animals is not easy. And so, I don't know if you know this, Aunt Laura, or not, but Neil rescues tons of cats. That's what he's known for. but he does also rescue dogs too.
It depends on the need at the time. For about 10 years here, dogs were the problem in the neighborhood of people throwing them out, and the Humane Society was saying they were overloaded and blah, 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 blah. And I knew they were just straight up 3-day killing pits. So everyone that was out on the street that didn't have a collar on and I didn't recognize, I tried to say, hey, I'm a rescue.
Yeah.
Because I don't think humans are very humane when it comes to animals. At least in our laws and actions. Maybe in our hearts we feel one way, but our laws aren't representative of those of us who have feelings for animals. In my opinion.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind. I just put you on the smaller view there.
I have no problem. It's your show, JM. You can kick me off if you want, and I still wouldn't have a problem.
No, you're good. I just thought, you're not really on camera. And he's
Yeah, no, I look ugly right now. I had a bad night. I only got 4 hours sleep.
Dang. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were saying it was like...
Dude, I just found out earlier this morning, one of the dudes they were chasing was directly across the street between SUV and the fence line on the sidewalk underneath a tree, trying to hide from the freaking lights like he doesn't know they don't have thermals. And the girl that lives across the street had just left her car, which was parked in front of my house, and walked right by him, and then instantly called me back and said, oh my God, there's a guy out there, come out there and help. So I was outside all night chasing these fuckers away from my neighborhood. But apparently it wasn't like a local in the neighborhood thing. It was one of those random crime things. It was like there's 4 of them, and the car got wrecked, and they all started running, and they just happened to run into my neighborhood. So it was like a one-off crime thing. But still, they had like 2 helicopters. They had 6-8 cop cars, and I was like, holy cow, they could get these fools out of my neighborhood.
Hey, CCT, have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. We got motorcycles flying by here.
But yeah, instances like that, if you have communications with your neighbors and some of them aren't totally along with going as severe with security measures as you want, things that happen like what happened to me last night, if you are engaged with your neighbors, convinces those neighbors to do those extra security measures. So I had 2 neighbors I've already spoke with that says, yeah, we're putting up more lights in the alleyway and the camera. And I'm like, thank you. I've been asking for years. Had you done that, they might not have come this way to start with.
Right.
But something people learn at their own speed.
Yeah, I think the number 1 drug issue around here is fentanyl.
That's everywhere, dude.
It's
anywhere in the world. But actually, most especially in America.
Yeah.
It's being allowed. If people put stuff together during, I think it was the Obama administration, there was a big opioid problem for 8 years, and tens of thousands of Americans died of opioids. Well, this guy's one is fentanyl. So it makes you wonder who they're getting paid for to allow these things to be problems only during their administrations.
Yeah. Just hold on. I'm just going to mute up for a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm still here, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hop off. I think I chased away a lot of your viewers, bro. You're down to like 3 now.
What chased off the viewers?
I think me coming up here, you had 7 or 8 when I came up here. You're down to 3.
Oh, it's all right.
I don't want to negative.
No worries. It's
your channel.
Yeah.
Oh no, my stalker's here.
This is more. It's more about. It's more about documenting the dogs here than trying to get a million views or anything. Hey, Indy, good to see you. Welcome in. Look, we got Independent Manny in the house.
Oh, by the way, Jan, if you see that picture I got going, I know this is totally off subject. It makes you think. That's a crystallized osmic ring, and they were able to get it to in a circular form and a radial form to go on a ring like that. I didn't think that it could be bent like that.
Okay, hold on. Let me do something here.
Oh, that's a cool reflective view.
Is that what you mean? So that's an crystallized osmium ring.
Yeah, I didn't think they were able to bend it into round shape.
That must be a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
A lot of money. Oh, these guys keep going off camera. There we go. And I missed Aunt Laura's comment here. Hold on. I'm actually in the middle of installing a light fixture. Hey, Aunt Laura, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. It's always good to see you. There he is. He's happy. And we got little Bo.
Echo, 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 echo.
Oh, is there an echo?
I'm here. Hello, hello, hello.
Do you hear an echo?
We're
Neil has a
making.
bit. Okay, that's. Hold on a second here.
I blame Indy. She's the one who noticed it. And, it's just like a fart. It was just felt it. I think Indy did it. Was doing it.
Did that fix it?
Yeah, it did. From this end.
That's because I'm on Restream here. I didn't even consider putting my echo cancellation on. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for letting me know, Indy. Oh.
See, now it doesn't sound so good when I go, hello, 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 hello.
Is there anybody out there? See, and when you said your stalker's here, for a second I thought it was 79.
79. Yeah, I got her go one time. She said, I don't know what show it was on. She says, just ban me. So I was like, I was a moderator and she wasn't. So I timed her out for 10 seconds.
Oh, I think she likes that.
I figured she would. And obviously she did. So I've done it a few times since and she kind of likes it. So, yeah. You find out people's little quirks and then, you become friends, I guess.
Yeah, she likes the attention. And like she's one you got to be careful making her a moderator because she quite enjoys
Messing
timing
around.
people out. But 9 times out of 10, she won't do it without giving the person a warning. Or if it's someone that she's already friends with, she just time them out for fun.
Yeah, I ain't had no problems. She's modded on my channel. But then again, everyone's modded, so she can't time no one out.
There you go.
And that's one reason why I do that. And one day I'll have like 1 million subscribers and I'll only have 50 moderators.
Yeah, well, you never know how the thing's going to evolve, right?
Yeah, I imagine that.
Like I saw the one guy you banned.
On my show?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what people don't understand, bro. You go into someone else's world, it's their channel, right? You need to be very respectful and not bring your shit to the table because it could be like, and I'm going to use myself as example. It could be you come in and you're drunk and drinking beers, but that dude fucking was raised by alcoholics and lived in a divorced family behind a bar and actually got away from home as quickly as possible to get away from that shit.
Yeah.
And doesn't want you bringing it because all the trouble it brings with it. That's a quite big possibility when you come into my world.
Yeah.
So, and I heard the beer bottles clinking in the back and then the attitude and I was flashbacks of a childhood. I was like, fuck this. I ain't reliving this shit again. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I apologize to the dude, but if he comes back, fucking don't be drunk on my channel, bro. I don't allow my friends now to come over to my house if they've been drinking. Because I know the long-term consequences of that oopsie with whatever they say is worse than just telling them not to come over.
Yeah. Well, right. That's one of the things I've witnessed several times on YouTube is people get drinking a little bit too much, and they start going off, and then the aftermath. right?
Yeah,
Then they're doing
yeah.
apology videos.
Apologies don't work, man, when you say certain shit. Because
Yeah,
everyone realizes you say shit, but the unfortunate thing is we also realize you also say true shit you truly feel more than when you're drunk than when you're not drunk. So those oopsies have long-term fucking cuts on other people that words don't cover up.
yeah,
And
it
you
can.
actually fuck yourself long term being an alcoholic doing that stupid shit,
Yeah,
especially if it's with kids.
it can be a bit of an honesty serum.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know.
alcohol makes you tell the truth. That's for sure. Alcoholics have to watch what they say, which they don't do well because they're inebriated, and they say what's truly on their mind without any uh, reservations because the alcohol fucking takes and puts those reservations all in the closet, and they speak more of how they actually feel. And then the next day they go on an apology tour. Been there, done that, bro.
Yeah.
One reason why I quit school is with a promising Olympian career in swimming, looking forward to being on track for. I gave all that shit up to get the fuck out of the house and join the army to get away from alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay, so it had to be bad enough that I gave up a promising swimming career, swimming scholarship to FSU, which was going to be guaranteed to me that year if I didn't quit school, going to college to be a doctor like what I wanted, which FSU offers, and it was all lined out perfect. Alcohol fucked my whole life up, and I wasn't the one drinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it can cause problems. Like,
I wanted to be a doctor, man. All I needed was 18 years of a freaking family to get me there to where I could get my. I didn't even need money for college. My swimming, I got a scholarship was going to be offered to me by a medical college at Florida State University. It was freaking perfect. I had it all lined up, and my life fell apart at age 15. And it was I did nothing. I was setting my own self up for success, and then the rug got pulled out for me by my parents and their alcohol.
hey, Ms. D, good to see you.
No,
It
I don't
was.
blame my parents. I love my parents, and I love who I am and where I am, and it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But it changed my direction in life, and I
Hey,
recognized
Ms.
that it
D.
was alcohol that did that. So I do not allow that to happen. That's all I'm saying. I learned from the experience. I didn't not love my parents or anything, but I learned from that experience how bad alcohol is.
Yeah.
From the other side of the coin, not the person that gets to enjoy being drunk, but the person who's not drunk and has to deal with it.
Now, just like for the record, I've noticed it's the hard liquor that really gets the people. Like most people, if you have a beer or two, it's not going to turn them into an angry, nasty person. It's the people that, well, I guess they start with a beer or two, and then they get into five or six, and then they crack the liquor. That's when it really gets going, and that's what's really bad. Just an observation.
Yeah, I kind of like being a nomad because then I don't have to deal with any of the shit that other people put on you from their own actions of foolishness and selfishness.
Yeah.
I haven't gone further in life, but I'm happier.
Well, your liver's probably happy too, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, man, I'd be a cheap drunk, bro. A six pack probably lasts me a week.
Well, and there's many famous people, very, very successful people that say, Donald Trump included, Dan Pena. Um, it's not necessary, and it doesn't do you any good. Like it doesn't. There aren't too many benefits to it other than as a painkiller or
No,
like
no,
you
there's better.
said, honesty serum. Um,
One thing I
it can help
found,
people loosen up if they're uptight.
one thing I find that through time actually works very well, other than smoking weed. But I'll smoke some weed and go outside and garden. And because I've gotten so over the years acquired so much knowledge of gardening, I just walk outside and I like instantly morph into the yard, and everything else goes away, and I'm just taking care of the yard. I'm taking care of the plants, taking care of the flowers, and I don't think about anything. It's like my Zen place, and I instantly go into that. And then like the heck, someone actually the other day I was so into gardening, they walked up to me and I didn't even. And this is very unusual for me. I didn't even notice them coming up on me. They startled me. I was so into doing. I was so content in my happy place doing the gardening that I was doing. I didn't even notice someone walk up on me. That that was actually that actually surprised me because I've never been that not alert about my surroundings. But
Yeah.
apparently, I needed to be in my Zoom place, and I was there. And gardening takes me there.
Yeah. Oh, and for anyone that doesn't know, Ms. D is in the house here. She has several dogs too. I think one or two of them are show dogs, and I
Are
think
you in
one of them,
Vallejo?
huh?
Are you in Vallejo? There's sirens going off. Huh?
Oh,
I was
it's a
hearing
busy,
that all night.
it's a busy road out here.
Sorry to interrupt you.
It's
Hello,
okay.
Miss D.
It's a busy road. You get lots of sirens go by here. Um, but yeah, I think Ms. D's got a pit bull too.
Pit bulls are one of the greatest, sweetest. Here's a history on a little a fact. Uh, Anyone who remembers the Little Rascals, the black
Yep,
and white, okay, their dog, Mr. Petey,
yep,
pit bull.
yep.
Do you remember seeing any adults around him, and you remember seeing all the stuff they did to him? The pit bull, before drug dealers came along, had the nickname of the nanny dog. It was known as the best dog for children because of its protectiveness, for which these drug dealers took advantage of and made aggression. They would protect your child from anything. That's how, and they've got a name throughout the centuries, or not centuries, but decades before drug dealers came along as a nanny dog. That's how sweet and loving those dogs actually are.
Yeah. And Caesar Milan has also said that too. He said
It's sickening.
it's the best companion dog you could ever
Yes,
ask for.
very much so. You could not ask for a more trustworthy, loyal dog. I mean, there's some real good dogs that do specific things that are better than a pit could do, obviously, but all around love and devotion, man, the pit, bro. And to be quite honest with you, they're not the strongest biting dog out there as far as bite force, because I have a Ridgeback as well, and I can tell you for a fact, looking at the anatomics of their jaw and jaw structure, and then actually feeling the love nips that are given when they actually bite your finger instead of the treat, uh, the Ridgeback's bite is easily twice that of a pit bull.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, man! I look at Shiba's jaw, and I look at the Cookie Monster's jaw. Cookie Monster's is my blue nose pit, and
Yeah.
Shiba's my Ridgeback. And I look at their jaw and the head forming. The reason why you can't tell is because the pit bull's upper cranium is a lot bigger and flatter, and Shiba, the Ridgebacks, is more rounded, and her jaw muscles actually stick out from her jawline, and you can literally see how big they are and do a side by side comparison. And the muscles of her mandible area easily twice that of my blue nose. And then, like I said, when she, dude, it hurts for hours, and she's not aggressive. She's like a cowardly dog because she was beat, and that's why she's rescued because they beat her and threw her out. So I took her in, and I've been giving her love for the past like 12 years. But she used to like want to go, bite for something you were holding in your hand, but she couldn't judge distance, and
Yeah.
she'd nip my finger. So I actually quit doing that because she'd always nip my finger unintentionally, but she obviously felt that she got the finger, and she'd instantly go into cower mode, thinking she was going to get beat, and that's how I determined she got beat by the guys I rescued her from. But that little nip, that some bit hurt for hours, and she didn't even mean to do it. So I could just imagine if I had her and trained her to be mean.
Your way to do it is, in my opinion, is to get the treat or kibble or whatever like that, and bend your hand back so that they can get at it. If you just have it in there like that, it might be a little tougher for them to avoid
Yeah,
biting
that's where
you.
I'm not a trainer like you and the other people in chat. I just I have a deep love for animals, and went out there and started rescuing them, and have learned the hard school way about them. And I never got any training on that kind of stuff. No,
Well,
she'd bite your whole hand.
I worked with horses quite a bit,
I love
and so
horses.
you learn
Yeah,
that,
you have to do that with horses.
that's right. Like, so
Their
that's
their
kind of like
bite's a lot worse than Ridgebacks.
giving them an apple. You got to make sure that your hand is bent back like that,
Have
like
you ever
that.
had Have you ever had a smart ass horse?
Oh yeah, I've worked with uh, over the course of time probably 30 different horses, and um, I'd
I
say
love
four
I love
four
the
or five of them
jokester
were tough.
horses. I
Say
love the
again.
horses that have that personality of being a jokester.
Yeah.
That'll come up and like nip you and push you and nudge you and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
like that personality horse.
Well, when they're younger is similar to dogs too, right? When they're younger is when they're going to be the feistiest.
Yeah, no, some of them they just have that. That's their personality, and I understand feistiness, and what I'm talking about is like, as they get older, you'll and I don't recall. It's been 2-3 decades since I worked with horses, but I've worked with hundreds of horses before that.
Yeah.
And the gelding, I think it would be called, the older female that's always just calm, that you usually like put a tourist on to sit to go on the horseback riding, because you know she's not going to take off, she's not going to buck, she's not going to do this, she's not going to do that, because that's the type personality horse she turned into. There are those few, and there are few that as they get older still have that. If you work with them, they still have that playfulness that you, or that what you would call playfulness, I call their personality, of jokesterness, and that's just how they are. And they're very few and far between. But if you get a horse like that, they are very much a joy over just having I guess what you would call a normal horse.
So gelding is effectively a neutered horse, right? It's
Okay, yeah, and
not in
their
its own sex.
attitudes are different after that. Now, what is the older horse, older female horse called? Is there a name for an older female horse that's separate from the gelded one?
Well, a mare.
Yeah, but that's a female horse. Isn't there a certain name for an older female horse?
Nothing coming on top of my head.
Yeah, and I could be totally wrong. Like I said, it's been decades, but I thought there was like a certain name. It might have been just the people I was working with gave those horses that were in that psychology and age a certain name, because they were like perfect for anyone could fucking saddle them, and anyone could hop on them, anyone could ride them. They wouldn't
Gotcha.
trot too fast. They would never buck, hardly ever whinny, not do what they were told. Basically, follow the leader style of horse.
Yeah, so that's going to be
Because,
like a veteran horse. Like,
yeah, because of their age or veteran, yeah.
so a
But
filly.
not all of the older horses were like that. You would get the occasional one that kept the childish, I guess, attitude throughout its life. That's the type horse personality that I like. That one that doesn't
So a
get old.
filly is a female horse under the age of 4, and a
Mm-hmm.
mare is a female horse 4 years or older.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Like I said, it's been decades since I worked with horses,
yeah, me too.
but I loved it when I did work with them, and I did determine that uh, until I make a lot of money, I'll probably never own one. So I quit working with them because they take a lot of money and a lot of time, more so
Oh
than
yeah,
dogs and cats.
yeah, very
And
expensive.
I realized I was not in that financial position, so I worked my way away from that animal, and others because of that.
Yeah, very expensive.
I mean, if I ever become a multimillionaire, I'll probably start a big cat rescue or something like that. But that
I would
takes money.
consider I would consider doing a dog rescue.
I would, before I do a regular canine or feline rescue, because there's a lot out there that are good that are underfunded. If I had a lot of money, I just work a deal with them and get them what they need and fund them to do a better job in taking more animals. And I would use my resources to do something like actually what I want to do, get the equipment. Like, when you go to the vet and they always say, oh, we got to test for this, we got to test for that, and they always charge for those tests.
Yeah.
And my thought process is if someone had some land, built a building, and had enough solar or wind and bought those test machines and had one or two people that would do those tests at no charge, how much would that vet bill be for everybody if they didn't get charged for all those testing charges? Because that's how I always, at least out here, that's the biggest part of the bill is, oh, this test, that test, this test, that test, and they drive the freaking price of the bill for your vet care up through the roof.
Yeah.
So my thought would be to have a building, buy all that testing equipment, and somehow get it to where it could be funded to where they don't charge for those tests, to lower healthcare costs for animals, within a certain radius.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And even, providing the services, spaying and neutering.
That is definitely a big one. Funding of those and see, that would be something that also, if I had a lot of money, I would just fund someone else already doing, because they're real hard to get started, but they're real easy to fund, meaning someone else already started it, but it's not doing good because they don't have the money. Or if you have the money, you could go through the problems of starting it yourself and have it funded. And of the two, the easiest is just to fund someone who's already got it going but doesn't have the money to fully engage the spay neuter or trap neuter release program or whatever it is. And you could also do more, because then you just drop a contract and some money on them, making sure they hit certain guidelines and don't frivolously spend the money, and that frees you up to do other stuff that you're truly more interested in animal care or rescue or whatever. And like I said, actually the Mobile Zoo is not really a zoo; it's a rescue zoo, and it's a private zoo. It's not funded by the city of Mobile or taxpayer money. What it is a one rich guy who loved animals, who had like 100 acres, built up a lot of fencing, and this is where he actually made money. Animals that are owned by people that they want to get rid of because they don't want them anymore, that are exotic, i.e. lions, tigers, zebras, monkeys, elephants, bears. And there are humans out there that private owners own these things, and they look to get rid of them. And they'll give them to rescue places. So this guy who started the quote-unquote Mobile Zoo had a rescue of exotic animal rescue, and he had all kinds of. And I mentioned zebra. He didn't have any zebras, but there's this other African creature that looks like a size of a zebra, but it has horns. He had a couple of those, and they were like, he just had a lot of weird and unique animals, and he got all of them from rich people who no longer wanted them anymore. And so they just gave it to him, instead of him having in his actual zoo, they have to buy the animals. So he made out that because people gave him the animals, but it was sick that humans actually had those animals in their private collection.
Yeah. I just enlarged your video screen there for anyone that isn't familiar with osmium, which is a platinum group metal. And Niels Han Dynasty is sporting a picture of this crystallized osmium ring.
And those colors are natural in the sunlight to the ore of osmium that keeps its chemical combination when it goes into the crystalline form of osmium, and that whole process, it still keeps that purplish bluish hue to the ore of osmium that it is. That's one thing I really do like about it. It doesn't lose its original lustful color in its original ore form when you put it in the crystallized form.
Yeah. I just switched your name on the thing there. I don't know if it gave you an option to put your name in.
It did, and I decided to just leave it. It said enter your name, so I said okay, enter my name. I was feeling comical.
I just switched it for you there, just in case
Right on.
you wants to know who it is.
I'll do Neil, Prince of Platinum.
That's
that way they can associate it with Niels Han Dynasty. Because Neil, anyone can be Neil.
True.
I've met
Neil.
several Neils spelled Neal. I actually met a girl named Neil, and her name was Neal.
That's different.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but she was in Scotland, and so actually over there it's not, because it's actually an Irish Scottish traditional name for a child, at least up to 50 years ago, I guess, because I was named after my great uncle Neil Sutherland.
Yeah, I've never heard a female having the name Neil before.
Yeah, if you go over to Scotland or Ireland and stay for a while, you'll hear about it.
Okay.
It's a more traditional to that area of the world name for males and females.
Yeah.
Mostly males, but there are females with the name.
So, have you ever live streamed on Restream, Neil?
Never. I'm actually probably going to do it tomorrow.
I think
And
you should try it out. The only reason
yeah,
that I'm doing it rather than StreamYard is just because it's free. Unlimited hours. You could stream 24/7.
yeah. I'm actually going to get the StreamYard $20 a month package once I can afford it, because I like it and I'm used to it, and I'd just rather stay with that. But right now, I've overused my hours for the month, so I'm going to be doing it on Restream. I did it on YouTube Live last week, but this week I'm going to try this Restream.
Okay. And Richard Metcalf and Chessboard. I saw both of you come in. I honestly I don't remember if I had verbally said hi to both of you, but it's great to see both of you. I'm just chilling out here with the two nice little dogs and Niels Han Dynasty, the Prince of Platinum. There's the two little puppers.
Oh, and made me feel good. I don't know if you know the guy Ron from Ron's Basement.
Okay.
He called and asked me to call him back in the beginning of next week and give him a few pointers on platinum so he could talk about on his show. And he called me to get those tips.
There you go. Well, it's
Yeah.
cool. I noticed on I think it was Liberty and Finance had, or it may have been a different program. Had Andy Schechtman on. I'm starting to think it was Kitco actually, and he had a platinum deal.
Yeah, yeah.
He started like I've never ever heard Andy Schechtman talking about platinum until
I actually questioned him on a live stream about it. It was on Liberty Finance, I think, with Dunnigan. He did a live stream, and I'd been on his show active for several months talking about platinum. Buy silver, buy platinum.
yep.
And then Andy came on, and I was pushing him to ask questions about platinum. And Dunnigan actually said my name, said, "Hey, Andy, this is from Neil. He's got this question about platinum." And Andy was honest and said he didn't really know crap about platinum because it's not their bread and butter for his business, which is, well, a cool, honest answer.
Yep.
So to hear you say that just basically means he paid more attention to platinum and realized, yeah, maybe we need to get into it.
Well,
And that's cool. That's my whole reason for getting into YouTube, is to wake people up to the benefits of the scenario that has made platinum so incredibly cheap.
yep. And there's no denying that the platinum to gold ratio right now is lower than probably ever in history.
No, it is ever. It's never been at negative gold until around 2010, 2011 is when it started, and that's when I feel I laid out a good physical line of manipulation directly from China as to the low price for platinum right now.
Yep.
And I could be wrong, but I put a lot of study into it, and all the everything lined up. And so in my mind, unless China comes out and says, yeah, we're manipulating, there is no more proof needing to be given. In my shows, I've given what I consider more than enough proof to show that China is manipulating the price of platinum lower. And that's not going to last forever. So it's once in a lifetime, once in forever on sale price. and until some other country grabs control of it and is able to manipulate it so heavily, it'll never be half the price of gold ever again once it does break this manipulation, which it will within the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment.
No, you're just putting out historical numbers and relating it to the present.
Yeah, and a lot of people have picked up on platinum, and that's a good thing.
Well, the other thing is, I think that can be a nice breakaway for him into more business, because anyone that's interested in platinum has probably already looked at gold and silver.
Oh yeah.
And if they're looking at platinum, they're going to see the premiums are really high. So he could even look at it as, if you don't mind me using the term, a lost leader, whereby he could even maybe just lose a little bit of money on it by having lower premiums to get more customers that might also buy silver and gold from him.
Well, and also, if you do that, your company has to up its inventory of platinum. And if platinum does shoot up and you have a low inventory, you're more screwed than if platinum shoots up and you have a high inventory. And that would be a one way to get a higher inventory of platinum in your company vaults for turnaround, like he has with gold and silver. So it's one way to increase his percentage holdings in his company's vaults of getting platinum to offer it for sale, because it pushes the market of it, showing that, because he's not, when you own a company that big, you don't make the decisions, or you might you set the direction, other people do the work, and in doing the work, certain things aren't done or are done that you don't even know have to or need to be done to make it work. You're just the figurehead of the company.
Yeah.
So he might even, not have a full contemplation of how the business works, because I've tried to figure out, and let me tell you what, man, the coin business, it is a tight margin, and was for 30 freaking years a tight margin business of profit to loss, because people buy in and sell, and more selling over time than buying. So it's like, it's a heavy stress business. It's a very, very heavy stress business.
It's competitive.
And the market runs on like a 30-year cycles. That's why people who look at a long-term gold price to say, oh, it's coming out of a 30-year cup and handle, or silver is about the same. So the markets move a lot slower. So for 30 years, these companies that are in the precious metals that have been around that long have worked on like 1% or less margins of profitability.
Yep.
So at times like now, they need to maximize that profitability. And in those 30 years of limited profitability, because the margins are so tight, because the price action doesn't move, it's just going sideways, platinum's not been a thing. It wasn't even in their business model while they were at the bottom of the cup and handle, because that wasn't their bread and butter, because the margins are too tight. So basically they put on blinders to keep their business running. And they're all going to, the sooner they realize that they need to add platinum to their list of holdings, the more money they'll make when platinum runs. And that's what I'm trying to do, is open people's eyes to what platinum's going to do, so that way as many people as possible can take advantage of it.
Yep. Yeah,
and a disclaimer, I actually own no platinum right now. I had to sell it all.
But you have bought platinum in the past.
Oh my God, I've bought a lot of platinum. But economic conditions, I lost my company, a lot of things happened, and I had to sell a lot of it to stay afloat. And I had to sell all of it, actually. But once I get back on my feet, it's going to go back in gold. I'm going to rebuy. But I say buy silver, platinum, crystallized osmium, BYOB, be your own bank. And that's what I do. I purchase a lot when I can, and then when I don't have any, I go through it like I'm my own bank until I run out, and then my bank went bankrupt, but I don't claim it on the bankruptcy courts.
Yeah.
So I'm working out and I'm being allowed to work out a financial scheme, so I know exactly how much silver and platinum will last me how long, by living that way. I actually get a feel for how much silver I need to last how long. at the prices they're at, and same with platinum. And I don't see anything like overnight changing where we wake up one day and platinum's at 6,000 and silver's at 200. It's going to take time to get to those numbers if they get to those numbers. So as long as you have the ability to make money and buy back, being your own bank and buying and selling. Like last year, I had up to 300 ounces of silver, but I sold it all. And I got back up to 80 this year, and I sold it all down to 1 ounce. So I like that's how my stack looks. I don't look at it like a stacker. I look at it like I'm my own bank, and I'm trying to figure out how to monetize my own currency backed by my own precious metals, basically.
You need a you need a printer.
Yeah, basically,
Um,
I need a gold and silver printer. Do you know where I can buy one? I know you can buy voting machines that'll
oh,
win
just
you
a
elections.
regular laser or like an inkjet printer.
Oh, sell fake silver and
No,
gold.
I'll just sell Neil, the Bank of Neil, or the Bank
Yeah,
of.
except for the Constitution says something about that that might throw me in jail. Only
I don't know about
Congress
that.
and the Treasury can create a currency here in America. And that's why I always wondered about the Fed, because constitutionally it's illegal. But amendments were made, and I'm sure it was made to be made legal, but intentionally, originally, it's illegal for any other source other than the Treasury to print money. And the Federal Reserve is not the Treasury. The Treasury actually is only minting coins in the sovereign form. So in reality, the only real currency in America is the sovereign American
So to
eagle.
say be your own bank really is next to impossible then legally,
Uh, yeah,
because
pretty much.
you can't. But you should be able to print out a certificate, say it's redeemable in 1 ounce of platinum or 1 ounce of silver.
Uh, yeah,
Don't
you
call
can
it. You can't call it the U.S. dollar, but I think that you could call it a Niels Hahn note.
or here, check this out. Hear me out now. Or or the second best thing, I could buy some land, start a Ren fair, and then legally, what I could do, because it's a Renaissance fair or a time recreation event, I actually legally could, and I could tie it into my need for doing so, into getting the festival insurance by recreating a time period event or occurrence or an act. Helps me get my festival insurance from the Historical Recreation Society, and they require you have three things at your event or something that are historically accurate. So I could recreate a money system at my Ren Fair that I'm totally in control of. So that way I could legally do it, because it's under the guise of a historical recreational festival or event, which is required by me to have my insurance to have three things that are historically represented in a money system. I could say, now they might take me to court and say I can't use that route of a historical event to get my insurance, and I have to try it, like do 3 acts instead of 2 acts in the money system. But I could do it that way legally. But it would be a recreation of like pieces of eight, not like Niels on Dynasty or something like that. And they would only hold value inside the fair to the vendors, and the vendors would give special. I'd have to have contracts with the vendors to give special discounts to people who brought in the festival or the fair's monetary system for payment,
Right.
and you could buy them at the gate or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
See how quick I come up with ideas off the top of my fucking head?
It's right on.
That's why people like going to business with me and like fucking me out of the business after I'm in.
Yeah. You just got to keep on keeping on. Hey, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Mike
What's up,
Herrera.
Michael? Michael. Mike.
This is what a big Newfoundland looks like after he's had 2 adventures. And then
He's a
here's
big
the little
teddy
Welsh
bear.
Springer Spaniel.
He's a
We're
big
just
teddy
chilling
bear.
now.
Big old teddy bear.
Yeah. He's like, hi there.
See, I'd be using him as a pillow in the yard right now, laying down, looking up. I'd be resting my head on his tummy. It'd be a good pillow.
Wait till the winter. We'll get lots more video of him in the snow. And actually, I've got a playlist, winter dog walks, where he's in there. He's in there probably about 50 videos.
He's worthy of it. He's a superstar.
Yep. Yeah, I just want to see if I can find the one here. I should be able to find it.
The only problem with those big dogs is their slobber.
Yep, especially when it's hot. Here, let's see if I can share that.
Well, you're getting both the dogs in that picture now. The other dog's in the reflection on the towel in the yard.
Yeah.
And what's that on the inside? Uh-oh. Someone might want to come outside. Is there a little orange puffball might want to come outside, or is he just screwing around?
Yeah, that's the little Pomeranian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got all three of your dogs in one scene.
Well, and there's actually 4 of them, but the little black and white one I got to be careful of because she sometimes likes to take cheap shots.
See, now those are 3 winter dogs, cold weather dogs.
Yeah. I wanted to show this one here, though. We'll turn the volume down on that a bit. There we go. So there you should be able to see the big black and white one here with Samoyed and mixed breed.
See, if I was a cold weather guy, I'd have the 2, the white one and the white and black one for sure.
Yep. Yeah, the 2 larger dogs there are
yeah.
Both of them are built for winter.
Oh no, that's all I would have. Yeah, they're not warm weather dogs. The other dog could be made to be a warm weather dog, the one to your far left on the screen.
Yeah.
But the 2 to the right they're cold weather, total cold weather dogs. Their fur just says I like 0 degrees and lower.
Well, and even the one on the left there is pretty good with cold.
Oh yeah, but not nearly as good as those others.
That's right. Yeah, especially if, say, they went swimming in cold water.
Yeah.
The 2 bigger ones, they'll have no problem with it, whereas the smaller one, would catch a chill a little bit easier.
Yeah. No, if I lived in Canada, I'd have those bigger dogs.
It's amazing how many people here, though, do not have the winter dogs. They've got little Chihuahuas and
the traditional cold weather dogs.
Yeah.
Man, you got to go back to your Viking roots, and most of us have Viking roots, and see what kind of dogs they have. Man. They had the wolfhounds and stuff like that, and big dogs. Even the Irish wolfhound. It's a tall dog, but it's hairy, man.
Yeah.
It's long-haired, hairy dog made for cold weather, but it's still got long legs and can run fast because of the long legs. Where those style of dogs they're lower to the ground than the Irish wolf dog.
Yeah, they kind of those wolfhounds kind of look like a miniature horse.
Kinda, depending how tall you are as a human. Yeah, they can get kind of big. About 4 foot at the shoulder, 3.5 foot.
Yeah.
Depending, I guess, on the genetics of the in particular dog you have.
Yeah. So he's all flaked out now. Switched locations.
It's cooler over there.
That's it. He would have warmed up that towel and the concrete.
Yep.
He's like,
Yep.
oh, it's too hot here now.
Yep.
But it's
Heat
not all
trans.
that. It's it's mid 70s Fahrenheit
I'm
here.
surprised he's on the concrete and not on the grass. The grass would be cooler. Now you see that dog there likes it a little bit warmer because he went and laid right on that warm spot.
That's right. He's like, that's my buddy.
Yeah, thanks for warming up the bed, bro.
Yep. Exactly. So I'm probably gonna shut this down in the next 5 minutes or so.
Right on. Yeah, I got things I actually the dog's already fed. Everything I've already got done, but I do want to go outside and take a look around the neighborhood and see what I missed last night.
Was there anything you wanted me to share, or any links that you wanted me to play?
No, no.
You're
Your
good.
show, you do your thing, baby. I'm just here to run my mouth and talk about like crystallized osmium and whatever topic you're on that I can add to the conversation.
Right on. Well, yeah, and I appreciate you coming up on the panel there. I figured you'd want to say hi. I
Oh yeah.
wasn't. I wasn't sure if. I kind of thought Ms. D might come up on the panel too. Um, she's she likes to just chat and shoot the breeze too sometimes. But
Yeah, I'm working on my social game because as an iron worker until I got on YouTube, I didn't really socialize with people. I just dealt with them on a job site environment, and
yeah,
I've been told around the neighborhood, even though I'm only 145 pounds, people seem to think I'm intimidating looking. And I'm like, really?
did you say intimidating?
Yeah. They say I can be intimidating by just the way I walk, the way I look, the way I present myself. It's like I don't know what the fuck they see, but I heard that and I was like, no shit, I'm 145 pounds, bro. What the hell?
Well,
I'm an intimidating walker or presence. What? Seriously?
again, it could be the energy. Like there can be a fine line between
Yeah, I don't know.
confidence,
I was, I was,
self-esteem.
I was surprised when I was like, what? Motherfucker, no, hell no. And then maybe that's good though, because when criminals or when I come around, they run, and I like that, you know.
Yep.
And if I hang around, they stay away. Hey, I like that. So maybe I am somewhat intimidating to the right kind of person, a person who's not a good person. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't had time to think about it. I know I freaked out. I was like, what? And I ain't put much more thought on it, but maybe I need to.
It can happen.
Anyhow, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for having me up. All you guys have a nice weekend. Buy some silver, some platinum, some crystallized osmium. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. And like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later, Jay.
Thanks, Neil.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Bye bye.
Have a good day. Um, there we go. So thanks everybody that's still hanging out. We're still just chilling with the puppy dogs. That was Neil's Han Dynasty that we just had up. And let's here. We'll do this. Anyone interested in platinum or osmium? If you want more information, check out Neil's Han Dynasty. There's lots of other people in that community as well. But I've dropped the link for Neil's channel there because he's the one that's here, and I think he was one of the first people to consistently talk about buying platinum, and one of the first people to consistently talk about buying osmium as well. And Neil knows, I would say he knows everyone else that's looking at platinum and Osmium as well, if you want to link up. So there's our big boy having his nap. Got the little guy over there. It's going to be their supper time in about 45 minutes, so I'm going to shut this down. Thanks everybody for coming out.